Welcome back. Venezuela is releasing high-profile political prisoners less than a week after former President Nicolas Maduro was captured by U.S. forces. Our military experts are with us now to break the situation down. Retired Colonel of the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve and Senior Advisor with the CSIS Defense and Security Department, Mark Kansian, plus former Senior Advisor to DHS under Mayorkas and retired Air Force Lieutenant Col Berney. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Glad to be here.
Colonel Flowers, Venezuela has released 9 people as of Friday afternoon. According to human rights organizations Penal Forum, including the opposition leaders to Maduro. So the question, I guess, is the U.S. working with the leaders in Venezuela to affect this change, or are they just, deciding who they're going to release now that they're in power?
From what I understand, and thanks for having us, Edie, and also Sarah. From what I understand from the State Department, yeah, they're working hard. They've got over 80 prisoners from the United States, from Spain, from Europe that have been, basically taken for opposing the government down there. And they've been holding these people illegally, as far as we're concerned. So yes, Secretary Rubio is working this and doing a great job getting those prisoners released. I applaud him.
And Mark, the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Machado, is scheduled to meet with President Trump next week. What do you think we will see out of these talks?
Well, I hope that we see some positive rhetoric. The president has been very critical of the opposition, said that they're not ready to take over. Many people had thought that they would take over if Maduro left. So just some positive rhetoric. There's also this question about the Nobel Peace Prize. Basically, she's offered to give that to President Trump, and he's indicated that he would very much like to have it.
Yes, but we also have to just also bring up the fact that the Nobel Peace Prize people themselves have actually released a statement saying it is non-transferable, just to make sure that absolutely under no circumstances will President Trump ever get one. But anyway, go ahead.
Bernie, I wanted to ask you a question. The president called out 5 Senate Republicans on Truth Social who had joined with Democrats Thursday to advance a war powers resolution that's aimed at blocking Trump from using military force against Venezuela. Now, if it passes, how does that impact what Trump can and can't do in Venezuela?
From what I understand, first of all, let's hope that doesn't pass. The president has has basically free reign to do anything to protect the United States, and these people are trying to restrict him from protecting us, like, for example, what we just did in Venezuela with sending the troops forward. We wouldn't have been able to do that. They would have had to check in with.
I think that the DOJ had a part in that because the administration says this is not a military operation. We are not at war. This is a legal operation. We're getting criminals and we're bringing them back to the U.S. And that seems to be a huge distinction here.
That is very, very correct. And again, the president would just be restricted, and things happen in the international community so fast. We don't need our president restricted on the actions he needs to take. He needs to have free currency to do whatever is necessary to protect the American people. And these senators and congressmen that are trying to put this restriction on him are not doing us any favors.
Let's talk about Greenland as well. This is something that has caused a bit of controversy this week, but the president explains why Greenland is important to the United States in his opinion.
We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you. You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dog sled.
All right. So the president is focused on Greenland. And a lot of people, sit here and go, Greenland, like, where did this come from? How did that come up? I don't know if you ever played Risk as a kid, but I just thought this was interesting. If you take a look at your Risk map, the way you hit North America is through 3 areas: Alaska, Venezuela, and Greenland. And with the action that the Chinese and the Russians are taking up in Greenland to try to establish forces, try to establish a domination there, you can start seeing why this is strategic. Mark, can you talk more about that?
Well, Greenland has been strategic since the Second World War. We sent troops there to prevent the Nazis from occupying it or using it. And the troops have been there ever since. During the Cold War, we had an extensive presence. There's still some U.S. Troops there. There's no question that it has a strategic value. Now, to get that value, not necessarily that we have to occupy the country or the province. The Danes have indicated their willingness to open up to any military expansion that we would want, and discuss mining concessions if we wanted to do that. So it is strategic, not necessarily that we actually occupy it.
All right. And before we go, Bernie, I'm just going to get some final thoughts for you on this.
The gentleman that just spoke is correct. They're strategic. We got a missile base up there, or better yet, a satellite. We've got satellite facilities up there, and Russia is not very far away from Greenland if you're going across the North Pole. So remember, the sea ice is melting. So the Russians have several bases up there, and we leave ourselves strategically in a bad place if we don't have ourselves covered up there. So yeah, I understand why the president would want to secure our assets up there. And there's also rare earth elements up there as well. So I understand what the president's doing, and I'm all behind him.
All right. Mark, Bernie, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks,
Thanks
gentlemen.
for having us.